This video is on how to write a function rule given a certain problem. So we're going to take word problems and we're going to translate them into equations. Here we have a word problem about a cricket and the temperature outside. It says you can estimate the temperature by counting the number of chirps of the snowy tree cricket. The outdoor temperature is 40 degrees more than 1/4 the number of chirps the cricket makes in 1 minute. So it's asking us what the function rule would be to represent this situation. I like to start with a verbal model. What I mean by a verbal model is I'm going to take this word problem and I'm going to shrink it down into essentially one numerical sentence that relates all of the quantities. So temperature is 40 more than 1/4 of the number of chirps in 1 minute. And here, what you should notice is we have some things. We have temperature, which is an unknown amount, 40, which is a known amount, and number of chirps, which is an unknown amount, number of chirps in 1 minute. And then we have some things relating those. So for instance, temperature is means temperature equals more than, so plus 1/4, 1 divided by 4, of, that's multiplication, the number of chirps in 1 minute. Now, the unknowns we can make variables for. So temperature we could say is T. 40 we already know is a number. And number of chirps in 1 minute we could say C. So we can rewrite this as T, temperature, equals 40 plus 1/4 of the number of chirps C. And there you have a function rule relating this problem and these quantities. So we could plug in for the temperature, we could plug in for the number of chirps, and we could solve for the other unknown. So we're going to try writing another function rule, and this one's going to turn out to be nonlinear, but let's take a look at it and see why. So it says, write a function rule for an area of a rectangle whose length is 5 more than its width. So its width, let's say, is W. Therefore, if its length is 5 more than the width, we could see the length is W plus 5. So if I was writing an area formula for this rectangle, I would do length times width, which in this case would be W times W plus 5 equals area. Then if I were to use my distributive property, I would say W squared plus 5W equals area. And there we have our function rule. Next, we're asked to evaluate this function rule if the W is equal to 9. Well, then all we have to do is take our rule and plug in 9. So we end up with 9 squared plus 5 times 9 equals A. Or (81 plus 45 equals A), or 81 plus 45 is 106. 126. And there's your answer.